Hello, everyone. Welcome back from break. It is I, Daisy, here with the wonderful Langston Wilkins, who got a shout out on a previous episode and is a person that we've been trying to get on the show like forever, and life and things and movement and cool jobs and shit happen. And now we're so glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for making the time for us. This has been really fun so far.
Yeah.
Before we jump into the formal interview, I think Dom has something to address to announce the beginning of the process of the interview.
Address? Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yes. This is an important subject.
Well, as Daisy said, Langston, as you may know, because I know you've seen the show, it's not just me and Daisy writing the questions. In fact, we have a whole team of folklorists, many of which with library access, who help us research the guests and write questions. And we call them, of course, the diligent, intrepid, and radiant folkwise interview sleuths. I always have to come up with a third adjective. The folkwise interview sleuths. So thank you once again to the sleuths who help us write these questions. And Langston, if you like a question that Daisy and I ask you, don't thank us. Thank the sleuths. And with that, I'll let you take it away, Daisy.
All right, I got first one up for you. Ready?
Okay.
All right. How did your first hip-hop record, The Ghetto Boys' Resurrection, 1996, set your trajectory to becoming a folklorist?
1996.
It's how I had to read it verbatim.
That's a great question. I think, that record, which I got when I was 12 years old, so I'm dating myself. But it did really open my eyes to the connection between, artistic creativity and cultural experience. So, I went through that record and everything they were talking about in very colorful and sometimes filthy language was really relevant to my social experience. A lot of it wasn't, but a lot of it was. And so I think, from that very day, back in, it was around my birthday, so around May of 1996, I was like, yeah, this is for me, really studying and learning about that connection between creativity and culture. So, it really got me into hip hop. And then I think from hip hop, that really allowed me to explore other manner of folklore and the cultural and creative expressions of other communities. So yeah, certainly foundational to me. That's a great question. I love answering that.
Thanks, Sleuth. I know it's a cool
Thank
one
you.
too. It's cool to hear the creativity element being the highlight for you. I mean, in addition to it being community and identity and these other things, but that's a part I enjoy being about a folklorist too. It's I get to be creative, and that's part of the human experience where so many other disciplines kind of push that away, or the creativity isn't the part that shines through. So that's really cool. Yeah, it makes sense.
Totally. Yeah. No, I'm all about creativity. I'm all about art, and oftentimes, especially in this academic space, it's we don't treat art as the important, not just cultural practice, but just window into the world that it is. And I think folklorists, all of us, we certainly we're the ones who do that, and that's why I feel so at home in the field. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
No doubt.
All right, I got another question for you.
All right.
Like other kinds of folk life, in what ways are slabs the result of both individual and communal development?
Ooh, yeah. So, it's certainly both at the same time. So, of course, slabs are owned by individual people who put all their weird, idiosyncratic, energy and creativity into this thing. But at the same time, they do it within within tradition, and also within the culture of the neighborhoods they come from. And so in a single slab, right, both represents the individual owner, but also typically they represent neighborhoods. And each neighborhood in Houston, at least, has a particular slab color that they like and they feature. And we talked about earlier in the previous segment, we talked about the trunk displays. That's very much a presentation of culture or of community. And so, slabs are both this individual expression, but also represent wider cultural connections. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm
Langston,
gonna.
what
Got in
are
the teacher mode there.
Yeah,
can I
I
ask a
love that. I
question?
love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm just gonna pull up a slab on screen. I'll share screen
do
to
that?
you
Do that. Yeah,
because I think
a good visual aid.
yeah, I want people to see because it's so
Yep.
like the visual part is part of it. So
Yes.
I'll screen share
Yeah.
to you so that you can see which one I'm pulling up, and then it's gonna be the same one that's on Twitch. It's just gonna look a little different.
Well, I guess my question
Yeah.
is, what are some of the ways you found in which they can be like very hyper specific to a neighborhood?
Oh yeah, I think color central, right? And so each neighborhood in Houston, like for instance, I grew up in Hiram Clark. That's the neighborhood I grew up in, and our slab color has traditionally, I guess, since the 1990s or 80s, has been orange, right? That's what we do. You go to a neighborhood even 15 minutes away, they're red or they're wine, right?
Right.
And so typically it's color, right? But again, those trunk displays commonly, they feature some reference to the neighborhood that the car comes from. And so those are just a couple of the ways. But, at different events, slab cars from different neighborhoods will, position or park themselves together. They'll proceed or into the event and leave at the same time. So it's all like both, again, individual, but also really very much about community for sure.
Yeah, if you click watch stream on Discord,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
of
this
course.
is an example of that that kind of like cherry red car. Though I thought this one was maybe one of the better examples of just a random photo from the internet, right?
Yep.
But because it has both the trunk features, but also what was difficult to describe earlier, the rim attachments that are that are like so prominent. Okay, I don't know if you know, but I teach this article that you wrote in my class when we talk about material culture.
Thank you.
Anyway, and I get really excited about this with students because I like the visual of how the car makes space and it takes up space for people who traditionally have been marginalized, and are still marginalized, right? Like this is I just like the idea of like, this is my lane. Like, and if you get close to me, your car's gonna get fucked up actually. Like, don't
this
mess.
is my space.
Yeah,
I'm owning the space, at least symbolically in this moment. I'm hogging the lane. So, and there's really, I'm so formidable, at least in this particular space, that there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, no, it's, and that really connects to larger, I guess, themes within African American folk life and in hip hop culture is really much about taking over and seizing space, where traditionally you're not able to, right, for many different reasons. So no, it's part of the reason why I just thought slab was so interesting. Like, just really taking over the streets, in both literal and symbolic ways. Yeah, it's so interesting.
Yeah, I think it's also. I also like that you could get real detailed, like the bright paint on its own. Cars aren't, the shiny. I love the way you described it, like the shiny candy color, almost like, which is such a. The candy part makes it. I mean, what is candy? It's whimsy. It's sugar. It's the icing on the cake. It's like the fun part. I don't know. I'm seeing all of the. I'm seeing all. I mean, maybe whimsy is a little bit of a stretch, but like the idea that it's not just a statement piece that's like, here, look at me, I'm bright and shiny, but it's also like a sweet like delight to build this car into like, it's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah,
no doubt. I think so.
Yeah, hell yeah. We like to highlight that, like, sometimes people think like there's, I don't know, when you think about a slab car, when you think about custom cars in general, you might think that there's like a guy who's the mechanic guy. And that guy is the artist or the specialist. But you make out this wonderful point in a lot of your work that it's, that guy's there, but he's also teaching everybody too, and everybody's telling him what colors, and everybody's, like it's a whole communal effort, which is so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any single slab, typically there's so many hands and minds that's touched that, those cars from various components and just a sheer idea, even where you can go and just get the old broken down car, right, that takes a certain type of insider knowledge and connections and relationships. So so many people have given their input, right, and connections to make that car a slab. So it's so interesting.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I have another question for you, if you're ready for it.
I'm on,
All right, so hip-hop is a global genre of popular music, but it wasn't always that way.
Right.
What is important then about the study of scenes or other localized hip hop communities in a global context?
Oh yeah. There's so many ways I can answer that because I'm so like
Go off. We have
passionate about that.
The time is yours. Yeah, let's do it.
No, I think at its core, it's just, I think we forget that, and this is why I teach hip hop within, folk life and folklore.
Yeah.
Because hip hop at its core, even today, is really about just local communities expressing themselves. I mean, all of these hip hop stars from yesteryear and today began right on the ground in their community, probably in their high school, kind of beating on a table and rapping, right? That's the very foundation of it. And that practice still exists today. And all of them came up through these local scenes and they made music just for their local community. Some of them just kind of were able to transcend space and time, but really at its foundation, it's about community. It's about people in place expressing themselves and expressing their love for the community. And I think, hip hop, since it was commercialized and commodified so early, and people have become global stars and some people become billionaires, we forget that there's still that folk root there that's still ever present. And I just make it my point to remind people of that.
Hell yeah. I think a lot about globalization in general, like related to what is community, what does identity mean, and for something to go that's like hyper specific, like set of identities to like everybody identifying with it to some degree or another is really fascinating. So thank you for that answer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We do have a follow-up. Dom, maybe
I
think
I
want to know some specifics. Yeah.
I think I want to know some specifics about how all of that it was like reflected in your fieldwork in Houston, like specifically. And either I do or chat does, who knows, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, because the field work, I mean, the reason why I was there was to explore this idea of the connection between the music and place. And I really just wanted to know why Houston hip hop was so, the music or lyrics and the sound was so hyper local. Like if you listen to any song from Houston, you'll hear so many references to Houston and then all these little micro neighborhoods and all of these like, micro experiences that even I wasn't aware of. And so this is music that's being disseminated and broadcasted all over the world, right? You would think the references would be a little more global in nature, but no, it's very much about the corner store in this random neighborhood, that most people don't know exist. And so I'm like, what is that about? And so, I think the field work really showed me that really, again, the music, at least in Houston, and I think this is true for other locales, is so much about those people in those spaces. And the rap artists themselves aren't, even if they live elsewhere, they're still very much present in those communities. People look up to them, people connect with them. They kind of put their community on their back, and their music reflects that, right? It's so much about a celebration of their community. I would go to different shows, or even not shows, I would go to just other social events. I went to like a few protests while I was there, and the rap artists were there, not making music, just there, to support in different ways and to lead. And so I think, and that's the point I was trying to make with the book, that look, I know that these, at least mostly, the mostly dudes were on, MTV, well, MTV at the time, but wherever, you get music, they're there, right? But they're also, right, YouTube, right. But they're also still, in the communities, at those corner stores, at those protests, at those shows, in the high schools, being, stewards and leaders in the space. So, and that's kind of what I found out in my fieldwork, and that's what I share through the book. Welcome to Houston, Hip Hop Heritage and Hustle Town.
Drop the link in the chat for people.
Link in chat,
for folks who are interested in checking that out. And we have an even further specific question. I
was going to say, you said like other localities, and I think it's true that I know like way too much about the New York subway system. Like I can tell you like what trains like to connect to what, just listening to like, like how do I know so much about the L train? I've never lived there.
Well, I feel like I learned so much about different, at least African American communities around the country just by listening to hip hop. I mean, some of my language has been pulled from the way Black people speak in Oakland, or or New York or Boston because I'm listening to hip hop and learning and soaking all that up. So it's such a informative and educational music, at the same time being entertaining. So yeah.
Hell yeah. What's a screw?
What, a screw?
What is screw? Sorry, I said a screw.
Okay, yeah.
Not screw. Wow.
I think I said that one too.
Egg on my face.
But no. That's Houston's hip hop. Well, let's see. How do I answer that? It's Houston's hip hop heritage, I would say, but also it's the central musical sound that emerged out of the city and has come to define it, at least publicly. It's this super slow, kind of muddy, dragging, atmospheric music.
That's cool.
Most people have heard it. Some people it's kind of emerged or turned into the slow and reverb thing, which is a separate genre. But I mean, screwed and chopped music is Houston's hip hop sound, and it's also spread to other locales. But it started in Houston, and it represents the city for sure.
Hell yeah. So people look up screw if they want to know specifically the localized hip hop Houston scene. And even that probably has its own subgenres too. Like
many different ones. Yeah. But screwed and chopped, if you want to immerse yourself in that, that's what you'll look up, and it's going to take you to Houston. It should if it's correct. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dom, you got this next one?
Oh yeah, totally. So
Hell yeah.
I guess I personally want to ask this because I'm teaching a class for the first time in since grad school next semester. But you spent a large chunk of your career working in public folklore, Tennessee, Washington. Now you're an assistant professor of folklore and African American studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Plug. But in what ways has your public work shaped you as a teacher?
Oh wow. That's a great question. I think it really structures how I teach and how I approach the teaching of folklore. I think I teach from a public folklorist perspective. I try to I think my courses are really about helping students, one, of course, understand the complex cultural dynamics of African American folk life. Yeah, sure, that's it. And that really involves deep academic study, right? But in terms of, how we think about the impact of folklore, as a field and as traditions on the larger world, I think that's where I bring in the public sector experience that I have. I mean, all of my assignments are really rooted in people creating public folklore projects. I have them writing, fake grants to the NEA, right, to fund folklore projects. I have them, at the very end, our final project is kind of wide open, but most of them either do podcasts or art pieces or, documentary. Last year we did documentaries, right, video documentaries. So no, I don't, public folklore is my identity, and I center it in class. At every turn, I share the work of public folklorists, push them to really engage with their state folklorist in Wisconsin, Caitlin Burrell. So it's I think, and next year I'm teaching public folklore. I'm looking forward to creating that class. So no, it's very, very much about, a part of my identity. And thankfully in Wisconsin, they've given me space to continue to explore public folklore in different ways. And they feel like it's a important part of the larger field. Yeah. And, and I'm just thankful to have that room to, kind of play in both worlds. Yeah, it's a great question.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's a great answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Dom, do you want to ask the follow-up, or do you want me to ask?
Yeah, why not? How are the students different since the last time you were regularly teaching class?
Ooh, I can answer that multiple ways. So, the last two classes I taught before coming to Wisconsin were in two very different spaces. So I taught a virtual class through Western Kentucky, which was awesome. And those students were coming from so many different experiences and backgrounds. They had a lot of like very, very grown students, that had kids and had lives like that. Before that, though, I taught in a prison in Washington State. And so that student base was very, very different. And really, I was more the student and they were teaching me things every session, right? But of course, regularly, like last time I taught regularly was at IU in grad school. And, I'll say that, I'm not saying that the undergraduates in Wisconsin are better. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not. So let me preface it there. But I've just noticed just a very deep, sincere engagement with the materials. Like most of my students, 95% of my students are white. And from either Wisconsin or Minnesota, right? Yeah. But we have like serious discussions about African American folk life, and they're able to relate it to their own experiences in very genuine ways. They're willing to be very vulnerable with me in ways that I'm truly surprised. But no, it's just been a different experience for me here. I was really anxious about my ability to be a teacher, just coming from the public folklore space. Sure. And the last time I taught regularly, I was a graduate. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Yeah. And I still don't in some ways. But the students here are just incredible. And I really mean that in a sincere way. I think post-COVID, from what I understand from people who taught before COVID, there's different challenges there, and students are more emboldened to center their own mental health and their own journeys, right? And they're willing to, say, hey, I can't do it today, And so I'm thankful that they're willing to just speak up and center their own needs in that way. That's very cool. That's so different than, my experience, like even 10 years ago, in a very good way. So, I'm having a wonderful time as a teacher here, and it's mostly because the students are so awesome. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You could have gone a bunch of different ways with that. I'm glad it ended on this. Like, this is like so cool. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have some funsy questions for you, and
then
we have a game. Then we got a game to play, if that's cool.
Oh yeah. All right. All good.
All right. Langston, your selfie game is on point. we need your tips. We need your tips for selfies, taking better selfies. All of your pictures are so awesome. We're all like, damn, Langston looks so cool in every one of these pictures.
To that point, your like faculty page on like, University of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
How'd they let you get away with that?
They let you get away with that background.
Well, anyway, I won't say it. But no
one's looked in a while.
Right. No, cool. Well, I appreciate the comments about the selfies. I'm always surprised about how vain I can be, in those moments. But
it's awesome.
No, truthfully,
for real.
Look, I pose. I take many different shots until I find the right one that works. Okay. I know my good side, I know my bad side. I just shoot until I find something that works, and I crop and I highlight and I I work with the white balance. I work with all that stuff. It just takes work. Any single selfie took about an hour.
Well, to produce. They're awesome, and they've obviously made an impact. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, it works for me.
Yeah, those are some great tips. So people out there, take note.
Yeah,
and also, just PSA, fellas, take pictures of the guys.
Yeah.
There's not enough.
Yeah, seriously, take pictures with the guys. Yeah.
This is why all your dating app pictures are fish.
Yeah, come on.
With the guys.
Up your game. Look, there's people you can talk to who are leading in the field of selfies, and you can accrue like both directly and indirectly how to take better pictures. Come on, the details are out there. Dom, how about you got this next one?
All right, Langston, if you lived in Stars Hollow, what would be your job that only exists in an Amy Sherman Palladino show job be?
I shouldn't have mentioned that I watched Gilmore Girls. Oh wow.
Top secret. Secret sleuth.
No, you know, I'm really thinking about this. But you know, I would be the very cool, you know, diner owner. That's what I would be.
Oh,
I think that's what I'd be. You know,
The cool diner
I'm there.
owner. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there to offer like advice. You know, I probably lived a life before I owned that diner. You
Yeah.
know,
of course.
I'm just there to offer wisdom and look cool and take good selfies. You know, that's just who I am.
Dropping records on the side. Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing track.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my god, the chat is spamming Luke
awesome.
right now.
Yeah, you're just
So
here
you
to
know.
sling coffee, chat
Yeah,
says.
yeah.
And the sleuths also want to make sure we ask this question, Jesse or Dean?
You know, I've oh my god, I've had very strong debates about this, and I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people, but I'm a Dean guy.
Holy shit.
I feel like no. I'm telling no. Look,
Damn. Tell me.
Jesse's cool, of course.
Yeah.
You know, but Dean bought and built her a car, right? I mean, he had his issues, right? But Rory's not a good person, and so I think he was done wrong.
Aw.
And I think
Yeah.
she drove him crazy, and you know, I think if people really go back and watch the show again, in retrospect, they would be a bit more sympathetic to Dean.
The chat.
I have some strong feelings about that. You know,
Chad is losing their minds, except for when you said Rory is not a good person.
Yeah.
They're like, okay,
exactly. Yeah, they're like, okay, that's correct. Yeah.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
god.
I'm
that's
sorry.
awesome. That's awesome.
The sleuths were debating if we had to include Logan in that, but you picked Dean. It's fine.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got the next Funzy question, if I may.
Go for it.
What exactly did you do when you consulted for a Travel Channel show?
Oh. Well, I was in the show. I was in the episode. So that was years ago. Booze Traveler, which is
awesome.
John Popper
Yeah.
on Monica.
Yeah.
Love him.
Let's
Oh wait,
go.
booze.
You know, it's
booze.
Yeah.
booze. Yeah. So the show where a dude just traveled the country and drank the local drinks of the cities he visited, and also at the same time learned about the culture. It was kind of
that's cool.
a Bourdain, for
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah.
So no, they contacted me. They were coming to Houston, and they got wind of my work with Slab, and they wanted to learn about Slab culture, and so.
Yeah.
They decided to feature myself and a Slab friend of mine, and we just kind of rode around the city talking about music, and he was drinking the drinks, and we ended up at a brewery hanging out and talking about Houston and alcohol and music, and it was cool.
yeah.
It was cool.
What was he drinking?
Yeah, it was like, what'd you drink? What was the beverage? Yeah.
Because
Some suggestions.
from reading
Yeah.
from finding your dissertation, there's a drink I associate with your
Same.
research that I don't think he was drinking.
I was
No,
gonna say.
Okay,
no,
okay,
we weren't
okay.
doing
Okay.
that. No. We actually spent half the time at a drive-through margarita
hell
spot, which was a very Texas thing to do. Yeah, it was like you can
drive
pull up
through
and-
in your in the slab. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fucking
that's
cool.
exactly what we
actually.
did.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool as hell.
You know the things that go together, like margaritas and being behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah, normal shit. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, we. Now I think about it, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, and then we went to a brewery. So no, all legal drinks, but probably unethical.
Depends how much the
Modes of
driver was
drinking.
drinking, and which we don't know. Can't confirm. You weren't driving. So.
It was a long time ago,
Yeah.
so I don't remember anything.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
All right, we got one more funsy question for you.
Okay, cool. All right.
Now, you did tell us what your dream car color is, but
Well, is that your dream? Is that your dream car color, or just your favorite?
or just your favorite?
What's favorite color?
Okay, favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. So our last question for you before we get into a game is, What is your dream car, and is it a Cadillac like your uncle's?
Oh. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is a Cadillac,
yeah.
like my uncle's. It's I'm not sure what model or what year, but probably an early '90s Cadillac,
Yeah.
like he had and he still has. Yeah, that's. It's weird. It's my dream car. It's probably attainable, but I'm not cool enough to drive it. But so that's what makes it my dream car. I can't now.
Dreams are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So no, that's probably
someday
my dream car. Yeah,
Hell
probably
yeah.
either black or red. Yeah, I can see it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, one day.
My dad's an Impala guy.
I had an Impala, so that's
nice.
that's fair.
Nice.
I had an
Nice.
Impala. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, that's the end of our formal questions for you.
That was
But
fun.
we do have another thing that we would
All
love
right.
for you to participate in.
Yes.
And I'm gonna
Oh,
let
boy.
Dom
Okay.
cue it up while I get it on screen.
Oh,
and share
we
screen
had
and
we
stuff.
had
This is gonna be
we
good.
had some input from a special
We-
guest
we have a
sleuth on this.
Special input.
Okay.
The conversation I was having with friend of the show Thomas led
no.
to
Okay.
led to this. But I guess the first question is, Langston, have you ever made a tier list before?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you've
Done
been like a tier. You've done the whole tier list maker, ranked things in order from S to D.
Oh wait.
S-
No, that's intense. No.
Okay,
Okay,
we're getting it. So tier
Don't
lists.
worry.
Alright, cool.
Tier lists come from fighting games as a way to rank character choice. But these days on the
okay.
internet, a lot of people just love to rank everyday the things from everyday life
cool.
on a ranked scale. It goes from S,
Okay.
which is a grade higher than 100, and D, which is the lowest you can go without failing.
Okay.
And
Oh, one more thing.
we as folklorists love to ask our guests some everyday life and so I guess we have you ready? Okay, so Daisy's is now shared it.
I had
Do
to
you
share
wanna
it on
hit
the back
share
end.
screen?
There we go.
And you did live and work in Washington for a while, and
Sure.
I've heard you have some strong opinions on some of this, but we have
Yeah.
a tier list from you that is not one we made when we found this time, but we thought it was a pretty
Cool.
comprehensive list of grunge bands.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, and like people were saying, thank you for guest sleuth that gave us this inspiration. But
Yeah.
we're gonna go. The pictures are a little small, but Daisy and I have a list, and we can go right down the list, and you can tell us where they go. They go both vertical, being the highest, and horizontal, left being the highest in each tier. So like the top left is the absolute pinnacle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you have a super, super, super strong opinion, we can make more categories than are here
Yeah, we
too.
can make-
if
we
you
can
need
make
if you need an
us, or we can
adjustment,
make app-
if you need
it's
an adjustment,
precedented.
so
It's precedented.
yeah.
All right. We can do this.
All right, let's go for
Oh,
it.
a little anxious, but yeah, let's do it.
Oh no, dude, you'll be great. If there's grunge defenders, they need to grow up.
Also, what chat really likes
They
from
grow.
this is just a
They
hot
love,
take. It's
they
just
love
a strong
hot take.
opinion.
They love a strong
All right,
opinion.
okay.
Yeah.
All good,
They are
all right.
these bands have plenty of followers. They're gonna be fine.
Okay, so
All right. That's
All
true.
right, number 1, Alice in Chains.
Okay. Oh. Oh my god.
It's right here.
I'm wearing an Alice in Chains shirt. In
Oh
the
my
picture that I
God!
sent you all.
What?
So that's funny.
That is
Yeah.
funny.
in which picture?
Oh,
In the
In-
schedule
The
post?
promo schedule post. Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yep.
And you probably
Uh,
adjusted the white balance on that too.
Yeah.
Right. That was a pretty good one. Oh, Alice in Chains. Let's there. So musically, I'm not a big Alice in Chains person. They're a little more metal than for my taste.
Yeah.
But look, they're an S. They're an S. For sure.
Damn. All right. You can
Yeah.
also adjust them over time as well if you're
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All
This
right.
is
Yeah,
like if
they're
you
not
feel
set in
like
stone.
they're
I'm not
S,
locked
but
in. All right.
yeah, you're not locked in. Something could usurp them or they could move down depending on your other choices. So
Cool.
a lot of freedom
Cool.
with this. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Up next is Bush.
Bush.
The
They're on the
only
grunge
the
list.
only UK
It was-
representative here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Which was
same,
funny.
Okay.
same, Langston, because when we found this tier list and we like were recognizing all the publicity
Yeah.
photos for this band,
Yeah.
Yeah.
took us forever to figure out that was Bush.
Yeah. It really did. It really did.
Bush. Oh. Well, they would. Let's go with D for now.
Damn,
Ooh,
let's
yeah,
go.
Well,
Certified straight
no,
to D moment.
Certified straight to D moment.
I don't consider them grunge, so I'm gonna go D. So,
Love
yeah.
it. Love it. Very good. Very good.
Is like I know we already asked you a question about localized musical like scenes or genres, but like, are they going into D because they're not from the Pacific Northwest? Did that factor into it?
No, it's just I feel like they emerged a bit after the grunge movement.
Yeah.
Their sound, it had grunge elements because that was popular for the time or the time right before they emerged, but I just don't consider them a grunge band. And yeah, I
Sure.
don't think they were part of that culture. I mean, I see. Well, we'll get into that. No, it's not because they're not from the Pacific Northwest. It's just I don't think they fit.
It's more
That's
complicated.
really fair.
Yeah.
More complicated.
Yeah.
Very fair. Very fair. The chat is agreeing with you, so you're in good
thank you,
company.
chat.
All right. Up next, Candlebox.
Let's go with D again.
Hell
Just
yeah.
because
Damn, I love it. Above or
I'm
below?
not-
Above or below Bush? Are they worse than Bush or?
Yeah, probably.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Hell
Love
yeah.
it.
Oh, Green River.
Yeah, Green River's nice.
See, that's a hard one because they were so influential and they led to other super important grunge bands. But let's go with A for Green River, and I feel
Got it.
like
Nice.
grunge people are gonna kill me for that, but we'll go for A.
Hell yeah. Love it, love it. L7.
Let's go. That's a D. That's a D.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Which order? This is awesome. I fucking love a D heavy tier list. This is awesome.
Let's.
Top, middle,
Well,
or bottom?
I might change that, but it's before Bush. It's before Bush.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Looking good. All right. Up next, we have Mad Season.
Oh. Okay. Let's go with B.
Okay.
'Cause,
Nice. Right in the middle there. Yeah.
Yeah, right in the middle. I mean, which is where they fit since they were kind of a super group. But, yeah.
Sure. Hell yeah.
More on that later.
Mother Love Bone.
Oh, okay.
How did you add a question mark to that, Daisy?
I don't know why. I just felt
Mother
it felt
Love
good.
Bone?
It felt good. And where is that going? Was the implication, I suppose.
So Mother Love Bone, similar to Green River, but oh my god, let's go A after Green River.
All right. Cool.
Got it.
Mud
A
Honey.
is becoming like the influence tier.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
That's good.
Speaking of Daisy,
Speaking of.
I thought are you doing the next one?
Oh yeah, Mud Honey.
Oh, okay. A again.
What are you thinking?
Maybe between Green River and Mother Love Bone.
Okay.
All right, nice. The classic.
That's S.
Nirvana.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
S.
I was gonna say
Top of S.
top of S, above Alice in Chains or below.
Oh, before. Yeah, before.
I
course.
was gonna say if Nirvana makes it into D, I might be sad.
I
really love Nirvana. There's no possible way. That would be
No
pretty.
possible
That would be
way.
pretty wild. That would be pretty wild. But oh my god, Death Laura says affluencer tier.
Is that like affluence?
Yeah,
What?
so like
That's pretty good.
it's instead of influence. Okay. Anyway, yeah. We had to explain it, Deathy. It's not good. Up next we got Pearl Jam.
Oh, that's S. That's
Okay.
S. Ooh.
Yeah. Now this is the tough part. Now we got too many on the board. Damn, that's a hard one. Yeah.
Oh god. Between Nirvana and some Chains.
Hell
I think
yeah.
that's where.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
Okay, can I
Trees
do the
there
next
next?
one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dom,
that's
go
Screaming
ahead.
Trees. Because
Yep.
what Thomas actually
man.
said was, ask him about the frontman of Screaming Trees.
Yeah. So, Screaming Trees, probably the most underrated grunge band of all time. Sure, their first 3 albums, not great. But once they hit 91, Shadows of a Season, the next record, Dust, was amazing. Mark Lanigan, who, died last year, I think it was last year, incredible voice, incredible songwriter. I read his memoir, incredible writer, incredible life. So no, Screaming Trees, amazing group, super important to me. Now, most grunge people don't rank them highly, I don't think. But to me, see,
This is your
A
tier
is-
list. This is your
see,
list.
because
Yeah.
I'm struggling because they're definitely not S. There's no way.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at A.
You're like, damn.
Let's
they're
go
all
with A.
good.
They're A. They're A.
Yeah.
They're A.
Let's do it.
They're A after at the end. At the end there.
At the end, top or
Yep.
bottom of A. Awesome.
Bottom A. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I see it. All right, Dom, you want to do the next one? Yeah, you want to just go for the last couple ones,
man.
Dom, because I did the first couple ones. Go for it.
No, yeah, we can keep going.
Soundgarden.
Next one's Soundgarden. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell like the kind of silhouette of Chris Cornell's head.
Yeah, I get. Yeah. Oh, this is my list.
Yeah, it's truly.
Like, I love Chris Cornell's voice.
Yeah.
I'm not as into Soundgarden as others are, but they are undoubtedly S,
Yeah.
and I would put
Hell
them third before
Okay.
Alice in Chains.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
STP Stone Temple Pilots.
So I love Stone Temple Pilots, and I know, they're from San Diego, and people felt like they were grunge posers. I understand all that, but I feel like the music is undeniable. So I'm gonna put them. Can't put them A. That doesn't make sense. Let's go B. Let's go B before Mad Season.
Hell yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I get it. That makes a lot of sense.
Who's left?
Who's left?
Two left.
The second to last is Tad.
Oh God, I'm so. I barely know who they are.
Yeah, honestly, me too. But that
It is-
that lead singer is very a specific looking guy.
Yes. A very specific looking man. If you just
Since
if
go
you
ahead.
if you truly are like, I have no idea, you could leave them off the list. That's okay too. But it's fun to have an opinion sometimes also. Deathy suggests putting them in C.
What? Is this because no one's there?
That's what came to mind.
Yeah, you
No one's there.
yeah, okay.
So let's do that. Let's do that.
All right, cool. And
Last,
Yeah.
speaking of supergroups, is Temple of the Dog.
Okay. So yeah, so one album supergroup,
Yep.
right? Featuring two incredible voices that became grunge superstars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this is fun.
It's a tough one. Yeah.
But outside of Hunger Strike, I don't feel like they made great music.
I just kind of know Hunger Strike. I don't think I know.
I mean,
any
that's
of
what
this song.
matters. That's what matters. So
That's true.
I'm gonna go. Oh man. So I feel like they're a B,
Okay.
and I feel like they're they're between Stone Temple Pilots and Mad Season.
This is such a conceptual tier list.
I get it.
Like we could rename the tiers from letters to like categories and it would still work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
That was fun. Wow.
Hell yeah. Okay, well this is the official list.
That's it.
I don't know, can we think of an official grunge band like from S to D? From Nirvana to Candlebox. How good is your 4-man band? I don't know. I'm not as good at these.
Thank you for counting Pat as an official member of Nirvana.
I mean, come on. I mean, I guess that's fair.
No, he's unplugged.
Like,
he's there on stage.
There, yeah.
I was gonna say on a scale from S to D, how much are you the one who likes all our pretty songs?
Yes, very good.
That's good. Yeah, there you go.
Langston, can I ask you a last minute question that came from chat that came in right under the wire?
Yeah.
Sure.
What is the best song to have on when you're riding in a slab?
A great question. I would go with. Oh, there's so many. Well, the one that I feel like captures the culture the most is a song by, it's a deeply, deeply local song, but it's by this guy named J-Dog, and it's called Riding on Foes. So I would go with that one because I just think it captures just the sheer magic and experience of riding a slab. But those folks, they listen to all manner of like old school soul and R&B and all that kind of stuff. But for me though, it's that song.
Hell yeah! Great answer.
I'm putting that in chat for everybody.
Just so you know, I also dropped a couple links to your social media for Instagram and Twitter X, and then also plugged your Substack, which is awesome. I have a Substack too. I love doing Substack.
Yeah,
Substack is a great place.
Speaking of Twitter, Substack has now replaced Twitter as like my smoke break, even though I don't smoke. I stand outside and look at my phone.
Substack is awesome. People follow. You can follow for free, or you can pay money. You can choose. It's really cool. So great way to get connected and stay connected to Langston's work. My cat is doing something bizarre, so I will, normal shit. Thank you for being on the show, and
Thank you.
two other things. Thomas Grade Richardson, when he was on the show, promoted your book, which had just come out, which is great, and hopefully you saw that during our break ad. So, I dropped a link to that earlier, but you, as for your ad, promote your friend's book if you want to give like a one-liner about like your friend's other cool books. So it's just fun because it's sort of turned into like in the drive-through lane, like paying for the person behind you, and we're like doing the train a little bit, which is really fun. I hope it continues.
Oh yeah, just one. Yeah, so Darius Stewart's "Be Not Afraid of My Body." It's an incredible memoir of a young man who grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, queer, right, Black, male, right, dealing with all the things that Black men deal with. But out there in Appalachia, and also dealing with issues of sexuality and homophobia, right? And he has an incredible life story, life journey. He's an incredible writer. And, the memoir, which I read, I just tore through. It's graphic in the most beautiful way. And, you'll leave the book changed. you'll be different as a person after you read that
Hell
memoir.
yeah.
And it's coming out in February, and I just feel like everywhere I go, I want to plug that book. So yeah, go get that when it comes out.
Hell yeah. Pre-order link is in the chat for folks who see that. Langston, thanks again. This is your natural out. And
Thank you.
chat,
Yeah.
you know what to do. GGs and ladders if you have them. Dropping
Ladders
ladders is
for
like a
Langston.
cheering for you, basically.
Oh.
It's an emote on our channel.
Thank
so
you.
everybody,
It's how they cheer if you can't hear them clapping.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody
Appreciate
drop some
y'all.
ladders
This is
if you got
fun.
them. Yeah, this is awesome. So this is of course your natural out. We're probably gonna play
Yep.
maybe in about an hour-ish more of Beam.NG Drive. So stay tuned for that. Oh, people are making a mega ladder. This is awesome. People are making like a super tall like mega ladder. Also intermixed with Mothman ass. Very fun emote technique to add in there. Very good, very good. Very folklore.
Folklore channel, you know
It's
how
a
it
folklore
goes.
channel. Yeah.
I get it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the show, and I'm just gonna
Thank
switch
you so
back
much for
to
coming on, Langston.
yeah.
Thank you.
thanks. Yeah, we'll be in
All right.
touch. See ya.
All right. Thank you, y'all. Take care.
Yeah,
Quilts have had meaning on many levels. Making quilts helped me to get a sense of my own space, sense of finding my way, sense of really working my way